Think of a discovery that could change what we know about one of the world's oldest stories, that of Adam and Eve. Recently, archaeologists found fragments of a forgotten biblical text, called Sephr Hatuna, or the Book of the Image. This finding, the first of its kind in over 60 years, was made on an expedition in the Egyptian desert, where the scrolls were unearthed. In this video, I will detail exactly what was found, explore the meaning of these texts, and discuss how they might redefine religions and our understanding of Adam and Eve, as well as the Garden of Eden itself. This manuscript is not just an ancient artifact, it offers a version of the story of Adam and Eve that has never been told publicly, kept hidden for millennia. The fragments suggest narratives and details that could profoundly alter our understanding of this fundamental story. Why is this important? Because it modifies our perception of the origins of humanity and the moral values associated with these early accounts. The experts who made the discovery were aware of the significance of the fragments as soon as they identified them. Each piece of parchment was handled with extreme care, knowing that each line could contain keys to better understanding not only the biblical past but also lessons that apply even today. Now let's move on to the first part where I will show groundbreaking revelations from the manuscript. But first, just check if you are already subscribed to the channel, because the upcoming videos will be a series of content that will start to make you look differently at the world we live in. At the heart of this discovery are fragments that shed light on an unknown and perhaps disturbing chapter of the story of Adam and Eve. The text Sephr Hatuna not only narrates the known events, but introduces elements and revelations that were never part of the biblical texts. These new details could well alter our understanding of the fundamental biblical narrative about the Garden of Eden. Scholars who examined the fragments found evidence that the traditional story we know might just be the surface of much more complex and dramatically different events. For example, the manuscript suggests that Adam and Eve's interaction with the serpent in the garden was more intricate and significant than standard texts describe. Moreover, one of the most shocking revelations of the book is the suggestion that the forbidden fruit might have been a metaphor for deeper knowledge and truths that were deliberately hidden from conventional accounts. This aspect of the manuscript suggests that Adam and Eve might have had very different reasons from those traditionally attributed for eating the fruit. The possibility that these new revelations could challenge and even change the established interpretation of the story of Adam and Eve raises crucial questions. What do we really know about our earliest ancestors? How do these new insights affect our understanding of human nature and original sin? Now, let's examine these questions in detail. We will review excerpts from the newly discovered manuscript, discuss its theological and historical implications, and consider how this new version of the story could redefine centuries of teachings and beliefs. Prepare to question and possibly re-evaluate everything that has been taught about the beginning of humanity. The newly discovered fragments of the Sephr Hatuna are now under intense academic scrutiny. Experts are working to authenticate the texts, using advanced dating technologies and linguistic analyses to confirm their origin and age. The authenticity of these fragments is crucial, as it directly influences the credibility of the information they contain and the impact they may have on the academic and religious community. A multidisciplinary team of historians, archaeologists, and theologians is collaborating to decipher each line of the scrolls. This meticulous work is essential for understanding the historical context of the manuscript, as well as for identifying any anachronisms or inconsistencies that may suggest forgeries or alterations. Validating these texts not only clarifies their authenticity, but also helps establish a new milestone in the study of ancient scriptures. If confirmed as genuine, these fragments could redefine our understanding of central biblical figures and events narrated in the book of Genesis. Moreover, the impact of this discovery is not limited to the academic field. If the texts are authenticated, they will have significant implications for theological doctrines, potentially leading to revisions in the interpretations of fundamental teachings and the understanding of the origin of evil and human sin. What do you think so far about these discoveries? Comment here below to discuss the topic. As scholars advance in the authentication and analysis of fragments from the Sephr Hatuna, it becomes increasingly evident that this manuscript may offer valuable insights into the religious beliefs and practices of early Christian times in Egypt. Detailed analysis reveals that the text may date from the 1st century AD, a critical period that witnessed the formation of many of the traditions that define modern Christianity. This discovery is not just a milestone for biblical historians. It has the potential to significantly alter our understanding of the development of Christian theology. For example, the manuscript includes details that may contradict or expand established narratives about figures such as Adam, Eve, and the serpent, offering a new perspective on their motivations and interactions. One of the most intriguing implications is the possible reinterpretation of the forbidden fruit. If the manuscript suggests that the fruit is a metaphor for forbidden knowledge or wisdom, this could change how we understand the nature of original sin. Additionally, the manuscript appears to suggest that Adam and Eve had a more complex understanding of their actions, which could indicate a more nuanced interpretation of human morality from the earliest days. The cultural influence of these texts, if confirmed, could be vast. From Renaissance art to modern literature, the story of Adam and Eve has been a constant source of inspiration and controversy. The introduction of a new narrative could inspire a new wave of artistic representations and academic discussions, potentially influencing theologians, artists, and writers to revisit and reinterpret this fundamental story. Furthermore, this discovery could foster a broader debate on the inclusion of apocryphal texts in the biblical canon. The authenticity and historical relevance of the Sephr Hatuna might encourage a more critical examination of other excluded texts, questioning why certain books were included or omitted in the sacred scriptures. In the next few minutes, you will see the possible dates and origins of the manuscript, exploring its historical and cultural context and discussing how this new version of the story of Adam and Eve could reshape our understanding of many aspects of the Judeo-Christian tradition. We will consider the possible reactions of the academic and religious community, and speculate on the future directions this field of study might take, given this revolutionary discovery. The emergence of the Sephr Hatuna is inciting a significant reassessment of biblical narratives, particularly regarding the story of Adam and Eve. This text brings forth interpretations that might challenge established doctrines, offering a new perspective on fundamental events and figures in Christianity and Judaism. The main twist that the manuscript presents is the possible reinterpretation of the role of the serpent and the meaning of the forbidden fruit. Traditionally, the serpent is seen as a deceiver who led Adam and Eve into sin. However, if the Sephr Hatuna indicates that the serpent may have been a messenger of deeper knowledge, this could transform the understanding of evil as a purely negative force. Furthermore, if the forbidden fruit represents not just disobedience but a forbidden quest for knowledge, this underscores a complexity in Adam and Eve's decision that goes beyond simple transgression. Such an interpretation could suggest that curiosity and the desire to know are intrinsic parts of the human condition, offering a more comprehensive and perhaps more compassionate view of the actions of the first couple. These new interpretations could have profound implications for contemporary theology. They question the nature of sin and redemption, and can lead to a reflection on human responsibility in contexts of temptation and error. The ability to question and reinterpret these fundamental stories is crucial for a faith that evolves over time and historical discoveries. The theological community's reaction to these new ideas will vary. Some may view them as heretical or threatening to established doctrines, while others may welcome them as an opportunity for a deeper understanding of faith and Scripture. And what about the various schools of thought and reactions within the religious community, examining how these interpretations may influence teaching and religious practice in the future? Let's consider the impact of this discovery on theological education and preaching within churches. It will be interesting to see how religious leaders and scholars will integrate, or reject, these new ideas into their doctrines and sermons, shaping the evolution of religious understanding in an era of new discoveries and intellectual challenges. This dialogue between the old and the new, between faith and knowledge, is what keeps religious traditions alive and relevant for future generations. If you are finding value in this video, please leave a like. It really makes a difference for us and helps others discover our content. Within the Sephr Hatuna, a particularly fascinating section is referred to as the Apocalypse of Moses. This text may offer an expanded insight into the events following the expulsion of Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden, detailing their lives and subsequent generations more thoroughly than traditional accounts. The Apocalypse of Moses is known for presenting a detailed narrative of the life of Adam and Eve after the fall, including their interactions with their children, the ongoing temptations by evil forces, and the way they dealt with suffering and mortality. This part of the manuscript is crucial because it can change our perception of the initial family dynamics and the moral and spiritual teachings Adam and Eve passed on to future generations. Exploring this text is important not only for its historical value, but also for its cultural and theological relevance. It offers a rich ground for discussions about the nature of repentance, forgiveness, and redemption. Additionally, it can provide new insights into how the early humans interpreted their own humanity and divinity, contributing to a more comprehensive understanding of theodicy and divine justice. At the same time, the historical impact of this section cannot be underestimated. If validated, the Apocalypse of Moses could redefine our understanding of beliefs and religious practices in early Judeo-Christian communities. For instance, it could clarify how these communities viewed the relationship between sin, suffering, and the hope for salvation, as well as how these views influence devotional practices and the construction of liturgical and doctrinal texts. Now, I will delve into the content of the Apocalypse of Moses, exploring its implications for biblical interpretation and its potential to enrich contemporary theological dialogue. We will also discuss how this text could influence religious education, providing a broader base for understanding the complexity of human experiences in the face of the divine and the mundane. Furthermore, we will consider how this new understanding could be integrated into modern discussions on ethics, justice, and the nature of evil, exploring how ancient narratives can shed light on contemporary issues, uniting believers and scholars in a common search for meaning and truth. The discovery and study of the Sephr Hatuna open new avenues for contemporary reinterpretations of ancient biblical narratives. This manuscript, by offering variations in the story of Adam and Eve and additional details about the Apocalypse of Moses, provides a rich source of material that can influence not only academic study but also broader cultural dialogue. One of the areas most impacted by this new information is the way stories are used in discussions about morality and ethics. If the forbidden fruit truly symbolizes a deeper quest for knowledge, as suggested by the fragments, this could lead to a more nuanced assessment of human curiosity and the quest for understanding, elements traditionally seen as flaws or sins. This view could be incorporated into education, literature, and ethical debates, suggesting that the pursuit of knowledge is an intrinsic and valuable part of the human condition. Moreover, the added complexity to the figures of Adam, Eve, and the serpent could transform their representation in arts and media. Artists, writers, and filmmakers could find inspiration in the nuances of these characters to explore themes of temptation, guilt, redemption, and the complexity of moral choices. This could lead to more profound and humanized portrayals of these figures in cultures around the world. In the educational context, these new interpretations can be used to enrich the curriculum of religious studies, philosophy, and ethics. Educators could use the manuscript to foster discussions about the implications of our choices and the nature of knowledge and truth, helping students explore how ancient narratives can be applied to modern moral dilemmas. In the next minute of the video, we will examine the potential for interreligious and intercultural dialogue that these new interpretations can foster. By presenting a more complex view of the scriptures, we can facilitate conversations between different religious and cultural traditions, exploring how a shared history is viewed in various ways by different groups. This approach can promote a deeper understanding and mutual respect among communities, exploring the universal themes of failure, quest, and redemption that resonate with all people. Finally, we will discuss how the discovery of the Sephr Hatuna could influence future research and academic publications, encouraging scholars to revisit and question other biblical narratives that have been accepted without challenge. The openness to new interpretations and the questioning of old certainties can revitalize the study of scriptures and religious history, providing new perspectives on the past and its impact on the present. Moving forward in the analysis of Sephr Hatuna, a new light is shed on the narrative of the creation and fall of Adam and Eve, bringing nuances that challenge the traditional understanding of these fundamental events. The fragments of the manuscript not only enrich the story with additional details, but also prompt a reassessment of the motivations and consequences of these early human acts. The detailed description of the interaction between Adam, Eve, and the serpent suggests a complexity in their relationships and decisions, which goes beyond simple disobedience. This expanded view may imply that the fall was not just a tragic mistake, but also an inevitable step in the human journey in search of knowledge and self-understanding. If interpreted in this way, the forbidden fruit represents not just temptation, but an inherent human desire to transcend limitations and understand the universe and oneself more deeply. This perspective recontextualizes the notion of original sin, suggesting that curiosity and the desire for knowledge are essential and not entirely negative aspects of human nature. Such a reinterpretation could have profound implications for how we view issues of morality, free will, and the role of temptation in our lives. Instead of seeing the fall merely as a tragedy, we can begin to view it as a crucial element of human development, an idea that could be explored in theological, philosophical, and even psychological discussions. The analysis of Sephr Hatuna allows us to reflect on the consequences of Adam and Eve's fall and their quest for redemption, a narrative that resonates deeply in contemporary discussions about failure and recovery. The expansion of this story in the manuscript offers valuable insights into the process of confronting and overcoming challenges, aspects that can be applied to both religious and psychological contexts. This segment of the video explores how the detailed narrative of Adam and Eve's post-fall life, as presented in Sephr Hatuna, illustrates their ongoing struggles with the consequences of their actions, but also highlights their journey in search of redemption. This not only humanizes these biblical characters, but also offers modern believers a model of resilience and hope. The story shows that, despite Adam and Eve's initial failures, they and their generations continued to seek connection with the divine, trying to restore some sense of order and purpose in their lives. This aspect of the manuscript can be particularly inspiring for those facing their own falls or personal challenges. By seeing how these biblical figures dealt with their difficulties and worked to overcome them, believers can find reasons to persevere in their own spiritual and emotional journeys. Moreover, the story offers a new perspective on the nature of divine forgiveness and mercy. If Adam and Eve are portrayed as more complex and relatable figures, this can encourage a more nuanced understanding of the concept of redemption. Instead of seeing it merely as an act of divine clemency, redemption can be viewed as a collaborative process, in which humans play an active role. And how can these interpretations influence religious teaching and spiritual counseling? Educators and counselors can use these narratives to help individuals understand and integrate their own experiences of failure and recovery into a broader context of personal growth and development. The Sephr Hatuna significantly expands our view of the struggles of Adam and Eve and their consequences through the generations. This part of the story shows us how the challenges they faced were not limited to the Garden of Eden, but continued to affect their lives and those of their descendants. This narrative can be used to teach about human persistence in the face of error and sin, as well as the importance of continual pursuit of redemption. The expanded view of post-fall life provides valuable material for discussions in educational and religious settings on how to deal with failures and how to seek constant improvements. It can serve as a tool to help the faithful better understand their own spiritual journeys and personal challenges, integrating the concepts of forgiveness and continuous learning. This understanding can also influence counseling and therapy practices, where the stories of Adam and Eve serve as metaphors for the universal struggles against human flaws and the search for meaning and purpose after significant mistakes. Considering these stories, we can find strength in the resilience and determination of our first ancestors, using their experiences as a mirror for our own challenges and aspirations. This part of the video seeks to inspire reflection on how ancient teachings can be applied to face and overcome contemporary challenges, offering hope and direction in our ongoing quest for growth and redemption. As we conclude this video through Sephr Hatuna, it becomes clear that this manuscript is not merely a historical artifact but a living source of wisdom that continues to offer valuable lessons for modern times. The story of Adam and Eve, enriched by these new fragments, challenges us to rethink traditional concepts of sin, knowledge, and redemption. This video has not only unveiled the secrets contained in the manuscript but has also demonstrated how these ancient narratives can be relevant to our modern understanding of human nature and spiritual struggles. The complexity of the stories of Adam and Eve reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge and the understanding of morality are essential elements of the human experience. The discussions raised by this analysis may inspire debates in religious communities, academic circles, and among those interested in the intersection between faith and reason. The new perspectives on the fall and redemption offer a rich tapestry for theological, philosophical, and ethical exploration. We conclude this video with an invitation to reflection. How can we integrate these ancient insights into our contemporary understanding? In what ways do these modified narratives influence our approach to issues of guilt, punishment, and opportunities for change? Thank you for following along, and we hope that this exploration of Sephr Hatuna has provided not only knowledge but also inspiration to look beyond conventional interpretations, seeking a deeper understanding of our own spiritual and human journey. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this video with friends who may benefit from this message. We look forward to seeing you in future videos, where we will continue to explore topics that enlighten and enrich our lives. Until next time.